Did you know Original Medicare doesn't cover all of your healthcare expenses? If you're concerned about out-of-pocket costs, a Medicare supplement plan might be for you. My name is Janine. I'm your Get Set Up Guide and Medicare expert. First, what is a Medicare supplement plan, also known as the Medigap? It is a plan that is administered by a private insurance company that is going to supplement your Original Medicare. It's going to cover things like your deductibles, your co-pays, or your co-insurances. Now, how do you get a Medigap plan? So, you have to have Medicare's Part A and Medicare Part B. If you are in your Medigap open enrollment period, when you turn 65, and 6 months after that is the Medigap open enrollment period, you are in what's called a guaranteed issue scenario. That means that your health is not going to be of a concern, and so you don't have to worry about that. You're going to have the lowest premium for your Medigap plan. If you are outside of that 6-month window, unless you have another guaranteed issue scenario, you will be asked medical questions. The answers to those medical questions can either increase your premium or you can be rejected altogether, depending on what the answers to your questions are. So if you are in your Medigap open enrollment period and you're considering a Medigap plan, I would suggest you go ahead and do it. What does a Medigap plan cover? So there are standardized plans, A through N. E, I, H, and J, no longer available, but they're standardized plans, A through N, and they're going to cover, again, your deductibles, your co-pays, your co-insurances. They may also elongate some of your other coverages, like your hospital stays, give you more time in the hospital, skilled nursing facilities. They may cover some foreign travel expenses. So those are things that the Medigap plan may cover that Original Medicare doesn't cover. And your first 3 pints of blood. Don't know why, but it does. So those are things that it may cover. It does not cover prescription drugs. It does not cover long-term care. So those are a couple things that are not going to be covered on your Medicare supplement plan. Some plans may also give you some additional benefits within them. There may be dental and vision discounts, again, foreign travel, emergency coverage, things like that may be covered under some of the plans. Now, when you're considering a Medigap plan, there's some costs and considerations that you want to consider. The premiums are going to vary based on the plan level, whether it's an N, whether it's an F, whether it's a G, whether it's a D. It's going to vary based on that, and it's going to vary based on the insurance company that you choose. So you may want to look at a few different companies. Also, when you are considering this, what are your future needs going to be? Do you think that you may be in a situation where you may have a lot of different costs later on in life? That's something to consider when you're looking at a Medigap plan. Also, when you're looking at a Medigap plan, there is no family plan. So if you're married, you will have your plan, your spouse will have their plan. So you want to keep that in mind when you're doing your budgeting. Also, you're going to want to budget for a separate prescription drug plan, because if you don't buy a standalone prescription drug plan, you will have a late enrollment penalty if you don't have any other creditable coverage. So that's something else that you're going to consider when you're looking at a Medigap plan. Another thing to consider, is there a household discount if someone else has the same company as you? Is there a household discount? Is there a discount if you pay automatically out of your checking or savings account? Also, you may want to consider when you're looking at a Medigap plan, it's going to be based on your age. So the older you get, the more your premiums are going to be. Just something to keep in the back of your mind. Now, what's the difference between a Medicare Advantage and a Medicare supplement plan? A Medicare supplement plan does not have any type of network. As long as a doctor accepts Original Medicare, they're going to accept your supplement plan. With an Advantage plan, you do have to think about the different networks and things like that. A Medicare Advantage plan, Medicare supplement plan are not the same. You cannot have both of them. You're going to have to choose which path you want to go, whether you want to do a Medicare supplement with a standalone prescription drug plan and a Medicare Advantage plan that puts it all together. Up to you. Whichever path you choose, you cannot have both of them. And so you want to make sure that you choose the one that is right for you. Now, when you're choosing a Medigap plan, you're going to want to consider which plan is best for you. So if you turned 65 before January 1, 2020, there was a plan called the Plan F. The Plan F, you had no out-of-pocket costs besides your premium. After that, everything was covered. Now, that was before January 1, 2020. That plan is no longer available, so the most comprehensive plan that's available now is a Plan G. It's going to cover everything except for your Part B deductible, which is normally just a few $100s. But everything else is going to be covered medically, or if you're in the hospital. One thing that you want to consider, there are some plans that cover excess charges and some plans that do not. So what an excess charge is, when a doctor charges you more than the Medicare approved amount, that difference is considered an excess charge. For example, you go to the doctor, they charge you $100. The Medicare approved amount is $70. That $30 is considered an excess charge. Some Medicare supplement plans are going to cover that excess charges. Some of them are not. So you're going to want to make sure that you pay attention to that. Also, with a Plan N, you may have like a $20 copay for an office visit or a $50 copay for the emergency room. Those are all things that you want to consider. So when you're looking at Medicare supplement plans, you want to make sure that you understand exactly what your plan is going to cover and how it's going to cover it. A Medicare supplement plan is an excellent choice, but you just want to make sure that you get the plan that's best for you. So Medicare Advantage, Medicare supplement, completely up to you. Choose the path that's best for you. I am excited about continuing this Medicare journey with you, and I look forward to talking to you in our next class.